Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and connoisseurs of the written word. Today, we will talk about a word that is frequently invoked in situations of quarrel. Quarrel, right? Now, the unpleasant fact is that we are, despite our high intelligence, a rather quarrelsome species. We are ready to quarrel at the drop of a hat on often very trivial matters. I mean, to an objective onlooker, we look ludicrous, laughable. But people quarrel. And it's not just on trivial matters that they quarrel, they even quarrel on fairly weighty matters where it would be more decorous, more dignified to hold a quiet conversation, exchange viewpoints, and then determine who is right. So it's not just little minds that are prone to quarrel, even lofty minds are prone to quarrel. Okay? So let us first write out this word that is used in the context of quarrels. Okay, the word is O P P U G N. Okay, oppugn, or you could say oppugn. I mean, there are a variety of ways you could pronounce it, but oppugn is one way you could pronounce it. Now, what does oppugn mean? Oppugn means that you argue with someone in a very hostile manner, in a very adversarial manner, using arguments. I mean, it's not like you're just shouting at him. You're actually using logical arguments, but in a very hostile and in a very adversarial and in a very confrontational manner. Okay, so opium doesn't simply mean you're yelling and screaming like two car drivers that ram into each other, yell and scream at each other, blaming each other for the accident. Not like that. This is high level quarreling. To understand this word better, let us take a classical historical um, incident. All of you have heard about Sir Isaac Newton, the great mathematician, great scientist, world renowned, considered among the three greatest intellects that mankind has ever produced, along with Archimedes and Gauss. And you also have probably heard about Gottfried Leibniz, Leibniz, TZ, sorry, TZ. Not that many people have heard about him, Gottfried Leibniz, um, who was a contemporary of Sir Isaac Newton. Um, but almost basically as intelligent as Newton. I mean, he's not as well known, but he left behind nearly 200,000 pages of handwritten mathematical and scientific notes, which to this day has not been completely collated, conceptualized, and disseminated to the general public. It is just existing in volumes. So he was no ordinary man either. Both of these people were giants. Both of these people were titans, and both of these people independently invented the calculus. Calculus. All of you who have gone to college have probably taken a freshman calculus course. You know that calculus is one of the most powerful mathematical tools available to the scientist. I mean, we cannot understand the universe without using calculus. It's that powerful a technique. So these two men living in the 16th and 17th centuries independently discovered the calculus. Okay? a mathematical tool, very powerful mathematical tool that literally opened up all the physical sciences. We cannot have modern science without the calculus. Without the calculus, it's as simple as that. The problem came when uh, they started accusing each other of plagiarism. You know, Isaac Newton accused Leibniz of plagiarizing uh, the technique from him, and vice versa. This is regrettable because it frequently happens in both mathematics and science that two people can and do come up independently with the same discovery. This has happened many times, not just in mathematics, but also in science. I will not mention all those instances, but you can easily check it up in any history of science. There was no need for a quarrel, but because the stakes were so high, remember, this is really a great discovery, a historically great discovery, okay? They oppugned each other, called into question each other's ethics, okay? So this is one way you can use the word oppugn. It was not necessary for them to oppugn each other. They could have sat down, discussed the matter, and come to the obvious conclusion that they had both discovered the technique independently. So we have used the word oppugn in another way. Okay? Now, there are two other ways, two other words um, related to oppugn. Let's write them also out and see how they are used. The other word is oppugn. Oppugnancy, that's a noun. And then there is oppu, oppugnant. So let us use the last word right away. Sir Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz in Germany were the two principal opponents in the great controversy as to who had invented the calculus. Okay, so two adversaries confronting each other, arguing with each other as to who it was that had first discovered this titanic technique. Full stop. Now let us get to the second word, oppugnancy. This state of oppugnancy between Sir Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz dragged on for decades and was even taken up by their followers on both sides of the English Channel. So we have used the word oppugnancy there, and also the word oppugnant, and also the word oppugn. You can oppugn someone, you can call into question their conclusions also. For instance, if you don't agree with someone is giving a seminar, for instance, you could tell him, I don't mean to oppugn you, but I don't exactly agree with the line of logic you employed in that proposition. That's a gentle way of criticizing someone who's giving a seminar and who you felt said something grossly erroneous. Okay, you could oppugn, but you choose not to. So you could say, I don't mean to oppugn you, but I disagree with your conclusion. Okay, so this is a more, how shall I put it, highfalutin way of saying they fought like cats, verbally, of course. Uh, they do fight like cats verbally, and this happens all the time in scholarly circles. You would think that scholars would be beyond this, that they would argue rather than go into a state of oppunency. So there's no need for the hostility. You can argue quietly. You can make your case very quietly. The other person may or may not agree, but you can always make your case quietly. There's no need to oppugn an opponent, because that's basically what you're treating him as. You're treating him as an opponent, which has no place in scholarship. Scholarship is about debate. It is not about oppunency. You observe, you don't oppugn. You can make an observation rather than indulging in oppunency. So I've given you various ways in which this word oppugn can be used. Okay? I hope you never get into a situation, assuming you're a scholar or a professor, where you need to um, oppugn an inward commas open opponent, inward commas closed. But I'm sure that even now, this happens all the times. You have these huge seminars. What do you actually call them? Conferences. Yeah, conferences where hundreds of people come and present their own uh, versions of reality, and invariably it arouses quarrelsome arguments from the audience. And it doesn't stop there. Sometimes it carries on to the food banquet hall. Um, but okay, uh, that is all. Three new words: oppugn, oppunency, and opponent. Um, you could use them when describing these hostile encounters, when encountering these incidents with a colleague. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll stop here for now, and we'll go to another word in the next video. Bye bye.